Good evening. My name is Noah Shivers. Today is April the 11th, 2021. Today I am here with Eliza Shivers at the Office of Personnel Management. Her position is Health Insurance Specialist who specialize in contracts. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Hope you are too.
Thank you. I am here today to interview you and ask you a couple of questions about your organization, what you do, and leadership. Do I have consent to voice record you?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So,
You're
my
welcome.
first question is what led you to your organization?
Well, I came to this area, um, the Maryland, D.C. area, in 1987, seeking better employment. Now, before from North Carolina. Before I left North Carolina, I was a occupancy specialist with the Housing Assistance Payment Program, which was a federally funded program, but we weren't federal employees. And we issued Section 8 certificates to community tenants. Um, so it was my responsibility to get the families in, verify the income, and summarize the program for them, issue them a certificate if they were eligible, um, and when they found their housing, they came back and I typed up the contract between them and the landlord and authorized payments after the unit was inspected. So that was a great program, but I thought that I could do better. So I um, moved to this area, and the first job I received here was from Lane Bryant in Iverson Mall in Marlow Heights, Maryland. And my assistant director there, after working, well, I guess there for 8 months, she was like, "I don't think you belong here." And I was like, I didn't know how to take that, but she meant goodbye. She said, "I'm gonna take off tomorrow and take you to a job fair, a federal job fair down at the Department of Labor." And so we did. We rode the bus down, and I received a rating based upon my education. I graduated from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University in 1980, and they gave me a rating based upon my education. Well, I didn't know for what to apply, so I just put down secretary. And God blessed me with a secretarial position, which began at a grade 5. But I have risen through the ranks and now health insurance specialist after being a claims examiner. Uh, Now I'm a health insurance specialist. So that's where I currently sit today. Um, my job is I negotiate health benefits for the federal government with health plan carriers. Currently, I oversee the United Healthcare contract between United Healthcare and OPM. This program is for federal employees and their families, and we serve over 8 million people under the federal employees health benefits program.
Okay, so clearly you had, a nice person into leading you to get to take you to the job fair, and that led one thing to another, which led to your current position right now.
Yes.
Okay, so my next question is, what is leadership to you?
Well, leadership is a myriad of things. Uh, uh, Certainly, uh, inspiring others to become their best selves in whatever their endeavors are at the moment. Um, Leadership comes with a lot of responsibility. I have served as a team leader and as a secretary, as a claim examiner, and as a health insurance specialist. Um, it requires a knowledge of procedures, rules, and regulations. Of course, we are governed through the United States Code of Federal Regulations, and these things are changed often, and it requires patience, knowledge, and understanding, and a will to help somebody to become the best that they can be.
Hmm. Okay, I see. Patience, knowledge, and understanding. Would that be the main requirements in
Well,
leadership?
well, certainly skills and abilities, which this is part of being a leader, trying to promote these things, trying to build these things in others, um, teaching them what is required of the position.
Okay. I think I got a gist of what you mean. So, my next question is, do you see yourself as a leader?
I do, I do, but not only in my work experience, but in my home experience as well. I do have a 20-year-old son who will be 28 on May 28th. So I try to lead him, certainly not through my own, but being God inspired and trying to persevere in what He requires of us all and what He requires in us raising our children. So I'm a leader at home. Of course, my husband is deceased. He died in 2018, but he was the leader, and so and we led together raising our child. But sure, leadership at home, leadership wherever we are all leaders because we have to lead ourselves into what is good, trying every day to become a better, productive citizen, becoming better in helping one another. So we are all leaders.
Okay. Can you. Well, my next question is, what are your strengths?
I think my greatest strength
Mm-hmm.
is listening, um, because through listening, you find out a lot through listening.
Okay.
And so I lead by asking questions, but by really sitting back, listening to the responses, because I need to know that you're grasping what I'm teaching. Um, uh, my strength is writing. Uh, well, I've been told I'm a good writer uh, because we have to do closeout letters and we answer congressionals from the United States Senate and the House of Representatives, and uh, certainly we answer federal members' inquiries as well. So I write very well too. Um, but I really think the greatest strength is my greatest strength anyway is listening because that's how I learn. Some people learn visually. I learn by listening. So that is my greatest strength.
Okay. Now, what are your weaknesses?
Uh, my weakness at this time. Well, I guess my weaknesses before too. Sometimes I can procrastinate.
Procrastination.
Yeah. Um, but time management is very, very important because we can do nothing without time management. But I don't necessarily procrastinate so much on my job as I do in my home life.
Hmm.
But um, I would say that is my weakness.
Okay. So, if that is your weakness, what can you improve upon as a leader?
Um, I think I could do more. I think I could do more in trying to help somebody uh, become eligible as far as knowing uh, what's required of the next position, uh, uh, the promotion, if you will. Uh,
Okay, okay. Now, you've been working at OPM for how long?
for 33 years.
33 years. Okay. So, I would say you had a lot of projects to do over the course of times.
Well, yes. Yeah.
That being said, were there any conflicts in projects that you had to solve?
Could I say conflicts? Um, the conflict is always in somebody not wanting to pull their weight. That always brings a conflict. But in order to grow, you have to do that. You have to pull your weight because nobody is going to be responsible for you. So that's the biggest conflict that I have encountered.
Okay. I think you could say that for most jobs. Someone always not pulling their weight, especially in jobs that require team effort from everybody.
Right, right. And this is basically my job is basically we work independently um, unless there is a project.
Right.
We do have projects, so but basically we all have our health insurance carriers. Um, I work the health maintenance organization, which are HMOs. I work that side mostly. And we have I guess about 70 carriers.
70. Wow.
Uh-huh. And so that gives us about seven apiece or so to work with. So yeah. Um, but it's great to work with people because that's why we're here to work with one another. So although we work our desk independently some, we're always you know talking to one another
Right.
about how we do things, you
Okay.
know,
Hmm.
and spreading information one to another.
I see. I see. So, my next question is, what are the most important attributes in a leader that they can have and why?
The most important attributes in a leader. Oh, again, the skill of listening, um, because you want to hear what everybody thinks, and then the skill of delegation.
Delegation.
Yeah,
Mm.
because you can't do everything yourself, so you have to delegate. You have to delegate, and everyone has to pull their weight, and definitely you have to have patience, because everybody isn't. Again, that time management will become very very important because you have to uh, uh, respond in a timely manner to the requests, whatever they are. You must be timely in them, and so everyone has to pull that weight in order for us to meet our deadlines.
Okay. So, what are your current goals?
To retire.
As always.
To retire. I've um, after almost 40 years dealing with federal money and you know federal employees and it has been a great experience, a great experience. I am so um, it's just amazing how God orchestrates things because before I even left North Carolina, I was in contracts, and who knew that he would bring me, back around to contracts, and this has been my livelihood for all these many years. So I'm very very grateful, and I am grateful for the experience. I am grateful for the people. I am grateful for my mentors, and I so hope that I can be a mentor to others as I have been mentored.
Hmm. Retirement. Everyone needs retirement.
Well, well, you know, even that has a strategy associated with it.
Right.
So you have to kind of plan for that as well.
Mm.
Um, I'm in that stage of planning for it,
Right.
and so that's what I hope to do. But certainly give others the permission to contact me, no matter where I am, if they
Mm.
should need a lending hand.
Right.
I am willing to help.
So the next question is, what is a lesson you learned from your failures?
Oh, to always, as much as you can, be prepared. You know, because and I say that because you can really, be on a job so long until you forget all about your uh, interviewing skills, your um, and just keeping yourself abreast of what is going on around you other than your job. I remember when I uh, went on an interview several years ago now. And the thing about these jobs, they come up so very rarely. Um, and I really don't think I was really, as long as I have been on the job, really prepared for this next step because I didn't, well, I guess I can put it this way. I don't think I was ready for the interview. Um, and they had a lot of questions. I don't think I read it. I think I could have done much, much better than what I did.
Okay.
And for I, this, I think the reason I didn't do well was because my confidence level wasn't there, and it wasn't there because I am blind, and this blindness had just really come upon me, and I just felt that I wouldn't even do the job that was required, the job that I was applying for, and so I think that kind of shot my confidence. But I have gotten it back, and I have moved on. So. But that was one of my. I just fell down in that. I just wasn't confident in it.
Okay. So my last and final question is, if you weren't working here at OPM, what else would you be doing?
Well, probably I think because it was my goal to get a federal job
Hmm.
because that was really my determination. That's what I wanted to do. I would be working somewhere in the federal government. Uh, Not necessarily knowing what I would do, but I certainly would be in the federal government. because that was my goal, and God allowed that to happen for me.
Okay. Well, knowing all this information I just received was very helpful and enlightening to my, you know, perspective of what a leader should or what they could be in the future. So I just want to thank you, Miss Shivers, for your time and your wisdom. And I just want to say that it was an honor listening to how you started, to your lack in your weaknesses, and now your strengths. And even if you didn't want to work here, you still want to work in the government in general. So thank you for that. And I just want to say have a nice day.
Thank you so much for interviewing me. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Hopefully I have been helpful. So I greatly appreciate it, young man.
All right. Thank you and have a nice day.
You do the same, sir.